Hi everybody. One of the themes that fascinate me the most, and which I hope to be able to delve a little bit more deeply into in the coming months, is ancient and forgotten civilizations. And when I say in the coming months, I mean primarily after the summer, because there will be some kind of a hiatus on the podcast during the summer months, or a few weeks at least. Now, there are some truly great channels, podcast sites out there run by passionate and curious people who are pushing boundaries on this subject. I'll put some links in the description. Less than 2 weeks ago, the news came out that archaeologists they've found evidence of several advanced settlements with pyramids, terraces, and causeways in the southwestern parts of the Amazon Basin. They've used a remote sensing technique called LiDAR, which is an acronym for Light Detection and Ranging. Light Detection and Ranging, LiDAR. And these discoveries would have ostensibly taken 400 years to make using traditional methods. As it says in an article in Nature, the scientific journal Nature, this challenges archaeological dogma. Now, the theory is that these urban centers that they've discovered there, they were inhabited by a mysterious culture known as the Kasarabe. And the Kasarabe, or carbon dating says that the Kasarabe were there from about 500 current era to about 1400 current era CE. So we're not talking about super ancient civilizations here and super ancient history, but standard textbook history has it that the Amazon Basin was virtually a green desert before the arrival of the Europeans, bar a few or a number of primitive cultures spread around the rainforest there. Now, this discovery upends that narrative. The sites could be even older, of course. The new findings only tell us that the Kasarabe occupied these sites for 900 years. By the way, nobody knows why they suddenly disappeared around the year 1400. New remote sensing technology will reveal ever more intriguing structures in areas we have believed to be historically dead, so to speak, like not just these southwestern fringe parts of the Amazon Basin, but also the inner parts of the Amazon and other deep rainforests around the world, like in Africa, Central Africa, and in Southeast Asia, and the Sahara. Scientists have just recently realized that the Sahara Desert hasn't been a desert for more than a blink of an eye, geologically speaking. Probably less than 10,000 years. Evidence is emerging of large lakes and large rivers all over the place. And I'm pretty sure that ancient human settlements will be discovered underneath the sand dunes there across the Sahara. Not to speak about the bottom of the sea, considering that sea level was at least 120 meters lower before the last ice age ended. There could be enormous amounts of remains from ancient civilizations on the continental shelf. I say just go out there and scan it. Just do it. Then we have techniques like GPR, ground penetrating radar, which is now telling us that there are large tunnels and chambers underneath places like the Giza Plateau and Petra in Jordan. Everybody knows that there's a lot of talk about monumental megalithic sites in Peru, Mexico, Egypt, Lebanon, Turkey, Easter Island, and some other places. But there are also a huge amount of mysterious advanced structures in India, and India is a huge country, like the Barabar Caves. If you haven't heard about the Barabar Caves, B-A-R-A-B-A-R, Barabar Caves, Google it. I mean, they are so amazing. They're so exactly made, and nobody knows how old they are. They can be thousands and thousands and thousands of years, and they're obviously not some kind of Templar. So I think that's what some people say is true, that they are probably some kind of refuge from a cataclysm of some kind, which I won't go delve into here. But as many of you know, there is this theory that there was a big cataclysm some 11,500, 12,000 years ago, something like that, during the Younger Dryas. So anyway, the Barbar caves might be that or something else, but they're really, really fascinating. And then we have, of course, the 20,000-year-old, which has been dated, as far as I understand. They know that it's 20,000-year-old pyramid structure, man-made pyramid, huge pyramid structure in Gunung Padang in Indonesia. And on it goes. It never ends. It never ends. My friends, the true human history will not be hidden forever. But we still teach our children and spread in the media a story that has, to be honest, hasn't held for quite some time now, and is most probably so flawed that it is beginning to resemble a lie. The story, namely, that there is a straight civilizatory line from the Stone Age to the high-tech modern humans, which are depicted, portrayed as the pinnacle of humanity, of course, and that civilization took off only 5,000 to 6,000 years ago. I mean, that's nothing. 5,000 to 6,000 years ago, civilization is supposed to have, just like that, taken off, and on different continents at the same time. Different continents which didn't have any known contact between each other simultaneously. Just suddenly happened. But with all the new discoveries that are being made, I mean, this narrative is so full of holes that it's beginning to look like a sieve or something. Homo sapiens have been anatomically the same, including the brain size, the brain structure, the brain size, and the whole nervous system for at least 200,000 years, probably closer to 300,000 years. And I mean, findings have shown this. This is not something I come up with. It's just, it's in the scientific literature back. So why should this species basically have been a Stone Age culture during 95, 96, 97, or even 98% of that time? And then all of a sudden, a simultaneous kickoff happened. Why do the different civilizations share so many symbols, building styles, and pieces of knowledge, like knowledge about the skies? Advanced knowledge about the skies, they share it. They didn't have any contact with each other as far as we know, but they share the same kind of very mysteriously advanced knowledge about the skies. So, and why are the oldest parts of megalithic sites the most impressive parts and built in the most advanced way, and the most recent parts are the most primitive ones? Doesn't make sense, does it? Now, I've become more and more convinced that there have been high civilizations many times on this planet. We are, as Graham Hancock has said, a species with amnesia. Perhaps there is more than just amnesia. I mean, I don't have any evidence of this, of course. It might just be amnesia. But I can also see that the story of a straightforward development from Stone Age to agriculture, to urbanization and ever more organized civilization suits those who run this world, both religious leaders and secular leaders. Ditching that narrative and accepting that this species has risen and fallen many times would be a bit uneasy for the powers that be, I think. I mean, if people knew that, I mean, if they knew how the story really goes, they wouldn't be that impressed with today's societies, and they might just as well look for inspiration and truth tens of thousands of years back in time. And that would be a bit frightening for many of those who are in power, I think. Now, I hope, as I said, to be able to learn more and speak more about these things during the fall. And I'm looking forward to an exciting trip to Peru and Bolivia in November, where I will be joining a group led by Brian Forrester, Johanna James, and other inspiring people. And I have tentative interview plans with 2 of the heavyweights in this field, but nothing has been confirmed, so I won't announce them just as yet. But I can say that I'm going on a journey together with my ex-wife and best friend, you might say my soulmate, I think one should say my soulmate, Katerina, to the Cathar regions of southern France later this month. And I hope to be able to make a couple of reports from there. Now, the Cathars weren't an ancient civilization, of course, but they guarded old knowledge about the true nature of human beings, our true nature that had been forgotten and suppressed, just like our history. Finally, coming up next week is an episode on the podcast with Jungian psychologist Joanna Laprade, who's written a book about the darkness within us and the benefits the soul reaps from doing shadow work. Very exciting, of course, so don't miss that. Okay. Love you guys. Have a nice week now and a nice summer and everything. Until next time, bye. If you liked this video and other interviews and talks on Mind the Shift, please like, share, and subscribe. I appreciate all the support. And you can follow Mind the Shift on Facebook and Instagram. And you can follow me, Anders Bolling, on all the main social media and also on medium.com. Thank you.